my name's Dr. Lindsay. Thank you guys for coming to the December C.A.R.E series. So this is our monthly owner education seminar. Today is all about the kitties. I to first put a shout out to C.A.R.E, who's one of our local rescue groups who brought in all these really cute and adoptable kitties, so they are available for joining your home after today. And they'll come vaccinated, spayed, or neutered and microchipped as well. And they're all amazing. I was just talking to Dr. Pam about how social all these kitties are. These foster parents are doing an awesome job with these kitties. Today is all about the kitties. So we're going to be talking about feline-friendly veterinary practice, what it is like for our kitties when they have to come in for veterinary care, and what can we do to make that experience as pleasant for them as possible. So I'm going to turn it over to some kitty experts. So we have Leah Calorino and Casey Adair.
Thanks, guys. Okay, so the idea of our clinic becoming a cat-friendly one started about 6 years ago when one of our technicians, Kel, kind of realized that there's a large population of cats out there that our owners also have, but we're seeing about 4 times as many dogs as we do cats. So she started doing some research to see what we could do to help get our feline patients in to see us more often. So that's when she found the feline-friendly practice and the option for us to become certified and accredited in that. So basically, it's just additional accreditation and training that our staff and other feline-friendly practices have gone through to make sure that we are treating our feline patients with as little stress possible while also delivering the best medicine possible. So we'll definitely talk more about that and the little details of those little things that we do that help make what could be a very traumatic experience, an amazing one. So Kel passed away shortly after she started getting the ball rolling on that. And after that, I kind of took on the role of the feline advocate for our hospital. Since then, we have become cat-friendly to the gold standard, which is the best you can do. And we are the only in Utah that is gold standard. Getting to the vet. I have a couple videos for you guys to watch. One's a little bit of the owner perspective, the other one is from the cat's perspective, and then we'll kind of go from there. You guys tell me how accurate this all goes. So yeah, I got the impression that a lot of you guys can relate. I know I can. Getting my cats to go even look at their carrier has been a challenge, and I just got them this summertime, so it's been kind of a work in progress to realize the carrier wasn't so scary. The next one is going to be from the cat's perspective. kind of what they experience and how we can be a little bit more mindful what they're going through when they do have to go into that carrier and go to the vet or other places.
Here, kitty, kitty. Here, kitty. Come on, kitty.
Okay.
Come on, kitty. Come on. That's a kitty. Come on, get in the carrier, kitty. Come on. Get in the carrier. That's a good kitty. That's a good kitty. All right, kitty. Let's go. Oh, are those your friends, kitty? Kitty. Here you go, kitty. Oh, kitty, you're all right, kitty.
I don't recommend that, by the way. It's the perfect time for that cat to dart.
There you go. All right, we'll get you just settled in there. Oh my goodness, you have a kitty in there. Oh, you're so pretty. I like your whiskers. Oh, my dog loves kitties. Look at the kitty. Look at the kitty. See the kitty? Look, see? Like what? Are you checking the kitty in? Oh. Let's go see. Hi, kitty. Come on out.
So that's a little bit from the cat's perspective, and we'll go through a few things on how we can avoid doing a lot of those things and causing some undue stress. Because by the time that cat made it to the clinic, it had already reached its peak stress, and there's no coming back from that level of stress once you reach it. So we're going to kind of talk a little bit about how to read your cat's body language a little bit, and then we'll go into how we can start making these experiences a little less stressful. when you're reading your cat's body language, you are looking at so much more than just what their eyes or eyebrows are doing. Their whiskers, their ears, and kind of their general posture can tell us a lot too. So here's a couple examples of some happy, angry, frightened, playful, content faces. So you'll see the happy and content kitties, their ears are upward, and the angry and frightened kitties have their ears curled back and kind of flat too. Their whiskers can even be angled certain ways, and that can tell you if they're happy and kind of taking in information versus when they're kind of on the defense, so their whiskers will go back a little bit. And the way they hold their eyes too, and their pupil size can tell us a lot of what they're feeling. So the frightened kitty you'll see has really dilated pupils, whereas the happy and content kitty have more of the relaxed, kind of neutral sized pupils. And then we have a little body posture and tail images here. So when they tuck their tail, they're usually a little scared or feeling defensive. And of course, everyone knows what the Halloween kitty looks like with that big fluffy tail and the arched back. So kind of you guys being aware of what your kitty's trying to tell you, and us being aware definitely helps us give the kitty a break, scale back a little bit, and take things a little bit slower, whatever pace the cat needs. Coming to the vet can be pretty stressful. The cats are probably already feeling sick from maybe an injury or an illness. Getting in the crate to travel to the vet, as you guys saw and agree, it can be pretty stressful. Once they get to see us, they're gonna most likely need some kind of diagnostics, and that can be really stressful and sometimes traumatizing if they're felt that they need to be forced into certain scenarios that they don't want to be put into. And if they've had a previous bad experience, they're already kind of anticipating that bad experience to happen again, so they're already kind of at that heightened level of stress. Cats like to feel in control a lot, and especially at our clinic, sometimes it looks like we're just letting them slip out of our hands when we're holding them, but we want them to feel like they've got a sense of control. So a lot of the times you'll see us approach a cat by just going down to the floor and sitting next to them with our body faced away from them, and let them approach us. And all those things can help give them that sense of control that helps them kind of trust us a little bit more and lowers that level of stress. Right here, they prefer the familiar. So going to the vet's not something they experience very often. So when their routine is changed just a little bit, when their food is withheld, or they have to, go into this carrier that they don't ever see other than once a year for their annual visits, this is kind of breaking the familiar they're used to, and it will start to trigger a stress response. So we just need to allow them a little bit of time to adjust and stay calm, because if they can sense that we're rushing to get to the vet to make our appointment, or that we're stressed because they won't go in the carrier, they start to feed off of that. So the first thing we can do is start to get the carrier out to make it a more familiar place. So the carrier should actually become part of the furniture in the home. Ideally a place where the kitty likes to hang out. And there are preferences on the types of carrier. So this one is a perfect example of what we would like to see. Same as this picture actually. It opens from the top here, and it also can unscrew in the middle, and we can take that part off. It makes it a lot easier to get the kitty in the carrier and out if needed. Certain carriers that are less ideal would be a soft carrier. It doesn't allow a whole lot of sturdy structure when they do get in there. Or carriers that don't allow you to open from the middle or the top. Because at that point we have to reach into the carrier to get the kitty out. And as you saw in that video, it can be very stressful to kind of go into that little area and approach from head on rather than if we can just kind of let them exit on their own or come out the top. So to help make the carriers a more positive place, you can use familiar bedding, put treats in there. My cats love catnip, so I sprinkle catnip in there, and just praise them as best you can when they do go in there. So now it's time to get to the vet. Oh, Dr. Pam.
Well, I just told Dr. Brown that Luna's crate is soft. It's just like Charlotte's, and she loves it. But that's what she's comfortable with.
That's the most important thing.
Underneath the same table all the time when she goes in to get away from the dogs.
Yeah, so Dr. Pam's kitty likes her soft carrier, and that is the most important thing. Cats, no one cat is like another. They're little snowflakes. So the most important thing is to find out what what your kitty prefers. And that's the same way we practice medicine with your kitty. If one restraint doesn't work, we're going to try one that does until your kitty's most comfortable. Is Sam still here? I was going to say, there was one time, it's a memory I like to cherish because I was very proud of us. We had this one cat who did not want to be held or set on the counter, but it liked to perch on your shoulder. So we literally drew blood on a cat that was perched on my shoulder. Well, Sam drew the blood, and the cat didn't even flinch. So it's all about figuring out what works for the kitty. It was one of those fun experiences I won't forget. So when it's time to get to the vet, or anywhere, you'll want to put the carrier out. And hopefully it's a familiar place where your kitty will just want to walk right in. And that's the end of it. But that isn't always the case. So if you need to, you can try to, put them in from the top. If that's not happening, you can also try to cradle your kitty with the legs kind of cupped under and go bum first into the carrier. And that will be a lot less stressful because you're not just kind of shoving them in head first. And that way they can't really put the brakes on too.
Can we borrow that sleepy kitty?
Oh, Beatrice.
Well, I was just going to show the cradling. So whenever we pick up a kitty, we always want to support underneath their bottom and then also support their top part. So kind of cradling under your hand is what she was saying. So that way you're not picking them up underneath like your armpits. Like, has anyone ever been picked up like that? Like, my husband does it as a joke, and I hate it. It's so uncomfortable, and it feels so weird. But like, I can't even imagine how they feel when you're just like, okay, here, and just, hand them. So we're gonna booty first, and then one hand on the top. So that's kind of that cradling.
We'll touch a little bit more on feel away, but using feel away is also a great item to use, about 30 minutes. Yeah?
Just another idea. So I do TNR sometimes, and one of the trappers that I've met, she actually, when she's having a hard time getting cats to go into the trap, she wraps the trap in cardboard box, and they actually go in there. I don't know.
So.
I don't know what it is. Put your carry in a cardboard box, and they'll just. That's amazing.
So wrapping a carrier in a cardboard box may also work. That is, maybe I should try that with my kitties because it's definitely, I go through that Simon's cat scenario every time we try to leave somewhere. And then once they're in the carrier, stay calm. I recommend, rather than holding the carrier by this handle they provided, where there's no security at all, just carrying it like this. That way they don't feel so, jiggly. And that way also you have more control. Sometimes these carriers don't have a whole lot of support in the center, especially those little plastic ones that just kind of latch over. And Yeah, and the zip ties, they work great, but then we'll just have to make sure, like at the clinic, we'll have some to replace. I recommend just carrying it like this. And then securing it in the car so they're not sliding around, whether that's on the floor securely between your seat and the or in a seat belt. Some kitties do well free ranging in the car. Don't really recommend that because it can be dangerous. So in the carrier is ideal. You can also cover the carrier once you get them in there just to help avoid any overstimulation from all the things that they're going to be seeing, and then continue to stay calm, avoid loud noises. They have a lot of sensory triggers going off right now, so making sure that we're kind of just remaining calm, keeping a nice calm voice. And then when you get to the clinic, we have really nice countertops where the carriers fit really well up there, and that's what we actually recommend, so they're not on the floor, just to make sure they don't get any dogs running up to them. Most owners have their dogs on leash, but every once in a while there's a dog that gets a little curious that's not on leash. And now Casey will take it from here. She needs them. I can cook it.
Okay, so you're at the vet, so now what? So when you want to take your cat into the vet, you want to keep the blanket or towel on top of the carrier so it doesn't get like overstimulated and get that stress level even higher. And if you have to wait in the lobby and it's busy, it's best to put the carrier on a counter or, like she said, or a chair or on your lap, so like dogs can't just come up and run to them and stress them out even more. And then once you're in the exam room, you want to just open the carrier, let the cat come out on its own instead of trying to pull out the cat or have us try to pull out the cat. Just let the cat come out on its own, get used to its surroundings and the smells and the noises on its own. And then we went over that we are a gold standard cat-friendly practice, which we kind of went over, the only one in Utah, which is pretty awesome. But some things that do make us different is that we have a cat-only entrance. So it's on the right-hand side of the building. So you can just come in on that side. We'll have a receptionist at their own desk waiting for you and your kitty, so you don't have to go in the other door and be bombarded by dogs or just a group or a crowd of people. And we have a cat-only exam room. So what's cool about our exam room is that we have places for the kitty to hide. So we have like a fake sink in the exam room that they can hunker down in, or a tower that they can climb up on or hide under. Because cats are definitely fight, flight, or freeze animals. And they usually freeze first, then flight, and then fight. So we don't ever want to get to the fight. So the cool thing about those hiding places is that they can go in there, hide, and kind of chill. And we'll get to the pheromones too, but we use pheromones and calming music in the room to kind of help calm down their nerves and everything too. Plus, if your cat needs to stay the night, if it's sick or anything or needs treatments, we have a cat-only hospitalization room. So we don't allow dogs in there, and the kennels are set up in a way so the cats aren't facing each other and like egging each other on or anything. And then when we have to look at your cat, we take our time with your cat, like we've kind of talked about. We let the cat come to us, get used to our scent and everything about us. We don't like to just bombard the cat. So as best as we can, we just let the cat come to us. Plus, our staff is trained to read all those cat social cues that we went over earlier with the ears, eyes, tail. We're all trained to watch for those and make sure that cat doesn't get to the top stress level where they don't come back down from. And for cat handling, cat-friendly handling, we never scruff, no matter if it's a kitten to 18 years old. We never scruff because it can be painful, it can cause bruising, it can make them feel like they have lack of control, which can get them in that fight mode. But if we do need to restrain, then we use blankets or towels and make them in a little burrito. So like that. We do a little burrito so it keeps the cat safe and us safe. A burrito? Yes. I love it. And then if that doesn't seem to work and their stress level has just reached the top level, then we'll use sedation, which Dr. Lindsay will go over.
So there's a lot of different things that we can do. So we have a kitty that needs some sort of diagnostic or treatment done and that's starting to exhibit some signs of stress. So what can we do to help to bring this situation to a more manageable level where the cat's not feeling that undue stress anymore and that we're able to get the things that we need done? So we talked a lot about pheromones. So there's a lot of different types of pheromones that cats make. So there are 3. There are happy pheromones that we're going to be talking a lot today. There are some social pheromones, and then there's also some territorial pheromones that kitties make. So these happy pheromones are produced from the face of the kitty, and they're released when kitties are feeling happy. So when we spray this feel away or pheromone within the space, it encourages cats within that space to feel happy and content and safe. Oh,
I was displaying it.
yeah. And if anybody wants to actually pass it around and you can kind of see what it smells like. Yeah, spray it and see what it smells like. So this is really, really helpful before your cat has exhibited stress, and then also if we're just having some mild stress or anxiety. The next product that I reach for a lot with my kitties, and sometimes I'll even give before kitties come into the hospital, is called Zilkine. So it's an all-natural milk casein. I personally love this medication because it's not a drug. It's actually a nutraceutical. So it's made from a milk protein, and it has a very, very calming effect on our animals. Very similar to babies after they've been breastfed, where they're just calm and contented and relaxed. And this one typically is best if given before stress, 1 to 2 hours before any stressful situations. And again, very good for very mild stress and anxieties, things like that. So we have a cat at the hospital that is maybe having some blood work done because it's just became a little senior kitty. So we've examined the kitty and we know that we need blood work, but we're concerned because the kitty's starting to show us some of those little signals that we're stressed. One of our favorites to reach for is a medication called gabapentin. Has anyone ever heard of gabapentin before, or maybe even had it themselves? So it's commonly used as a pain medication. It's really, really common in humans for pain, but it can also be used for light sedation. And so we make it into a little liquid, so that's compounded, so it's chicken flavored, so lots of kitties really love it. And we give it, and it takes 1 hour to 2 hours to take full effect, and then we're typically able to complete any tests that we need to do. But this is another one too. If you know your cat is coming into the hospital for something that's maybe a little bit more stressful, or they've had that test done in the past and it's caused them some stress, don't hesitate to let the front desk girls know when you're making the appointment, or let your doctor know, hey, maybe I would like to have some of that for the next time that we come in. And this is best for more moderate to severe anxieties. And then very lastly, this is another very common medication that's given for stress and anxiety. I use this one a lot actually too in my kitties that are doing traveling things, is alprazolam, or probably better known as Xanax. So Xanax works really, really well for kitties. And it's a little tablet that's given orally, and you can give it, once to twice daily, just as needed for stressful situations. So there's a lot of options out there. Don't feel like if one thing didn't work for your kitty, then the next time we can try something different. These medications are generally quite safe and tolerated very well by kitties, especially if they're used intermittently, so just kind of every once in a while. But a lot of these can even be given. I have a few kitties that have that stress bladder issues where they take some of these every day and they do just fine. They can be used really safely. Has anybody ever used any of these in their kitties? Isn't it life-changing? Oh, no? Oh. Oh, no. Yeah. I was gonna say, it's been pretty life-changing for us since we've started using it more and more. Mm-hmm. All right.
And then I just wanted to end with some fun facts, and then we'll just take as many questions as you guys want to ask. So, fun fact number 1, there are an estimated amount of 85.8 million pet cats in the US, outnumbering dogs, which are 78 million. So there's a lot more pet cats out there than there are dogs. Yeah, kitties.
And only 30% of them get seen annually by a veterinarian.
Yeah, Dr. Pam's saying that only 30% of cats are seen by a veterinarian.
And over 80.
And that's why it's so important to us that you do bring your kitties in to see us. And that's why this is an important topic for us, so we can get this to be a less stressful event, so you and your kitty are more likely to want to come see us for those preventative treatments to help catch that early stage kidney disease, or get that annual blood work to catch, you know, some of those other underlying diseases that we wouldn't have caught until your kitty was losing weight and not grooming itself and those kind of things. Kitties don't only purr when they're happy. They actually have several different types of purrs. They have a stressed purr, a healing purr, and when they're giving birth as well. Their purrs can be between 25 and 150 hertz. And according to this quote here, that level of hertz can improve bone density and promote healing. So there's a theory that cats kind of purr to help try and heal themselves too. And cats love to cuddle in boxes. I think if you have a cat, you figure that out pretty quickly. They really enjoy enclosed spaces, and it just helps them feel protected and hidden. Any questions?
Yeah. If you have a question, just raise your hand and I'll run over with the mic so everybody on our live feed can hear it. Awesome.
What happens if my cat doesn't do well at the veterinary hospital and is not well managed or well behaved on drugs? What are my other options?
Well, we are known to make house calls. So if that is something that is going to be best for your cat, then we can definitely consider that as an option. Anything to add to that, Dr. Lindsay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say home visits for kitties are actually one of my very favorite things because cats get to be in their natural environment. It's one less unfamiliar thing. Pretty much the only unfamiliar thing during that experience is the addition of, me or one of my colleagues coming over. So it's something that is quite typically pretty easy to set up. We're pretty flexible with our schedules. I have a lot of cats that's really the only times that I see them is when I go to their houses and do their house calls and things. So it's a pretty fun experience, and we can do pretty much anything we can do at the hospital minus dental cleanings and surgeries at your home. Like I've drawn blood, I've collected urine, all of those things at the home.
Hi, we have a kitty who she's kind of stressed a lot right now because we got a new dog a few months ago and she absolutely hates him. So would the pheromone spray be something that's good to just use like on the daily, or is there like a limit to like how much you should use it?
They actually make a diffuser, so you can actually diffuse that regularly. And the area that she prefers to hang out in would be the best. And that way that pheromone is constantly just being diffused in the area. And I don't think you can overdose on pheromones. I've never heard of that. Yeah. The neat thing about pheromones too is cats are just programmed to have a positive reaction to their pheromones. So other than the alcohol that's in that spray bottle, they're not going to have a negative reaction to the pheromone. So if you are using the actual spray bottle, this one, you do want to let it kind of sit for about 5 minutes before you really put it in a close environment with them, just to get that alcohol smell kind of out of it. But the pheromone itself, you can't really go wrong using it.
And two other things you can do kind of environmentally to help your kitty, especially, so this can be with new kitties in the house, with new dogs, is give them their own private space that they can escape, that the dog can't get to. So you want to make sure you have a special place that only the cat can go, where it can escape from the dog, whether that's climbing up, whether that's going into a small room because it's gated off for the dogs and things like that. That is darling. They have their own bedrooms. You are an incredible dog and cat mom. I love everything about that. So that's awesome too. And then making sure too you're spending that one-on-one time with each pet. Anytime there's a new addition to the family, a lot of times the kind of original child, I like to say, or original fur child, feels a little bit neglected, because a lot of times, especially new puppies and new kitties, take a lot of our time. So carving out some time where maybe that animal is away, and then it's all about your original kitty too, can help them a lot. So getting some OG time in.
We certified Bountiful as a gold practice. I would like to add the Animal Care Center here inside the Utah Dog Park is a silver practice. We practice everything except we don't have a separate cat entrance or a separate cat room. But we are super friendly to kitties. We have our Feel Away, Roman Chamomile. As many of you know, we really cater to cats. So please bring your kitties in. They really do need veterinary attention. And I'm really glad all of you guys came, because I love it.
This is one of our best turnouts.
Yeah.
Our cat folks came out in full force. I love it. All right. Any other kitty questions or things like that? Well, awesome. The night's not over. We have the space for a little bit longer. There's kitties everywhere. There's coffee, snacks, pastries, wine. Enjoy yourselves for a little bit. We're going to mingle for a little bit longer while you guys are enjoying some kitty time. Thanks for all coming. Next month, so the 8th of January, we are going to be combating common behavioral issues. We have a trainer that's coming in. So if you have a behavior issue that you would like addressed, get on our Facebook page. I made a post a day or two ago that just asked for some topics and things, but our trainer's going to go through those questions, and he's going to answer them live at our seminar. So it's going to be awesome. All right. Thanks, y'all, for coming.